What is up, guys? So in the last couple days, basically in the last week or so, we've gotten a lot of news for Crisis on Infinite Earths. Each time we had that bit of news, none of it was really enough to make an entire video about, so I waited until the end of the week so there was enough news to make a video about, and what do you know it, at the end of the week on Saturday, which is probably today if I'm releasing this video today, they released a bit of news that is definitely enough to make an entire video about because it's a new TV show being added to the Arrowverse and to Crisis on Infinite Earths. So I'll get to all of the bits of news that were confirmed over the course of the last couple days for Crisis on Infinite Earths, starting with this picture that we see from the Wave Rider. A lot of characters are in this picture, namely Superman from Earth 38, Ryan Choi, Elongated Man, Black Lightning, The Flash, John Diggle, Superman from the Superman Returns universe, Harbinger, Iris West, The Monitor, as well as our first look at Pariah and his costume. Just like with the other two very Crisis on Infinite Earths heavy characters in this picture, the Harbinger and the Monitor, this suit looks like it's ripped straight out of the comics with some minor differences. The differences for the Harbinger were that they covered up some of the bare skin parts. For the Monitor, there are slight differences here or there, but for Pariah, it is very, very similar. The belt is a little bit lower on the suit, and the design of like the black stripes doesn't go all the way down to the belt, but other than that, it's very, very similar, and Tom Cavanaugh looks very similar to what Pariah looks like in the original comic book. But either way, even if it didn't look exactly like the comic, I think it's a really, really good looking costume, along with Harbinger's suit and the Monitor suit, as well as even Superman's suit in this picture. The suits that they made for this crossover are genuinely really, really good for what we've seen so far, and Pariah's is no exception. He looks like just a straight up superhero in the suit, which Pariah isn't really. He doesn't have any powers aside from immortality, and he isn't really a fighter, but he has this suit and he looks really, really cool in it, so I'm glad that they gave him it, even though they didn't necessarily need to. But either way, I think that this is a great suit, and this picture, with all these different superheroes and costumes and colors, and this doesn't even count all the other heroes that are in this crossover, the team-up shot potential for this crossover is legitimately incredible. You can see that in this picture. You're seeing the picture where the Flash and the two Supermen are standing next to each other, and then previous team-up shots, like in the one in Invasion especially, and considering how many more heroes there are in this crossover, I am so excited for the potential of a team-up shot with all these characters and all the other heroes in Crisis on Infinite Earths, and Pariah's costume, I think, definitely adds to that, as also, he's probably the only other character other than the Green Arrow who wears green, as far as I can remember, so that definitely adds some color. The next bit of news has to do with a pretty big thing. I mean, this thing probably could have had its own video dedicated to it, but it doesn't really matter. Anyway, in this picture from Crisis on Infinite Earths, there was a newspaper, which was the Gotham City Gazette, and the headline with the Michael Keaton Batman as a picture said, Wayne Tech CEO Bruce Wayne marries socialite Selina Kyle. This means that this Crisis will be a continuation of Batman and Batman Returns. Batman is a movie starring Michael Keaton that came out in 1989. So Batman Returns came out in, I think, 1992, also starring Michael Keaton. There were two sequels to those movies, Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, two incredibly hated movies. I think that, honestly, Batman Forever is worse than Batman and Robin. Either way, those movies do not seem to be canon in the slightest, as Michael Keaton is still Batman in this picture, or still Bruce Wayne, and also the fact that he married Selina Kyle while Selina did not have any role in those other two movies probably means that this is a direct continuation of Batman Returns, and I'm guessing it's probably Kevin Conroy who's actually playing Batman. He might be playing an older version of Michael Keaton's Batman, which I don't think he looks like Michael Keaton. I'm guessing if they could get Michael Keaton, they would have, but he is a pretty big star at this point. They can't afford him, really. I mean, 10 years ago, maybe they could have afforded him to return, but at this point, definitely not. So either Kevin Conroy is playing an older version of Michael Keaton's Batman, which, again, don't really think they look very similar, or maybe this is a picture from the Birds of Prey universe. The Birds of Prey universe had some hints that it's set in the Batman universe, the Michael Keaton Batman universe. There's, from what I've seen, I haven't actually seen the TV show, but I've seen pictures of the cameos of Batman and Catwoman, and they wear the same exact suits that they wore in Batman Returns, the same costumes. This means that, it probably means that it's set in the same universe, and based off this newspaper, it seems that maybe is something they're going to officially canonize in the upcoming crossover. This would mean that this newspaper is from fairly long ago, as Michael Keaton looks like he's a lot younger, like in the 90s, 90s, as well as the fact that since Huntress, the daughter of Batman and Catwoman, is appearing, this means that they probably got married like 30 years ago or something, like a long time ago, so for Huntress to already be an adult at this point. So I don't know why this newspaper would be, around right now. I don't know why I would be looking at this newspaper other than just to show us that this is what Batman used to look like, and this is what Bruce Wayne used to look like, and he used to be played by Michael Keaton, confirming that this is in the same universe. Whether or not it's Kevin Conroy replacing Michael Keaton, I don't know. I feel like if it would be, then they probably wouldn't actually show Michael Keaton as a picture, because I don't think Kevin Conroy looks much like him, and Michael Keaton himself could definitely play an older version of Michael Keaton's Batman, which again, budgetary reasons, they can't really do that, but I just don't think Kevin Conroy would very much work as the older version of Michael Keaton, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see if that is what they're doing. Either way, this probably does mean that Batman and Batman Returns are now a part of the Arrowverse multiverse, and maybe in the same universe as Birds of Prey. Some more Batman-related Crisis news. There were some set photos showing Burt Ward in the Crisis. He hasn't been seen filming much, so it's possible that he's just going to have a cameo, and it's also possible that he is, through him, we're going to have yet another TV show being added to the Crisis, which at this point, it's basically, I've lost count, at least off the top of my head. I would have to actually count them, because it's like 6 or 7 TV shows at this point. Anyway, you have Burt Ward he played Dick Grayson, aka Robin, in the 1960s TV show, opposite Adam West's Bruce Wayne, aka Batman. Obviously, they can't bring Adam West's Batman back because Adam West did pass away not very long ago, but it's possible through Burt Ward's Robin, they are bringing the 1960s Batman TV show and probably the movie as well into the Arrowverse's multiverse. It's possible Burt Ward is actually reprising his role as Dick Grayson, the dog he has, maybe Ace the Bat Hound, or maybe some random dog he has, and for some reason or another, Burt Ward is going to have some sort of role in the crossover, whether it be Dick Grayson and he's bringing that show into the multiverse, or just a random bystander with a cameo. Either way, this is definitely something of interest, and also I think the shirt with the colors is at least a reference to his former role as Robin. And finally, the last bit of news that did not come out very long ago. This is probably, I think, the most surprising news we have had up until this point about the Crisis. This is something that I did not see coming at all, but it's been confirmed by Candagraphs that he saw Tom Ellis, the actor who plays Lucifer Morningstar on Lucifer, on the set of Crisis on Infinite Earths with Green Arrow and Superman, as well. I'm pretty sure the Flash was there as well in a bar scene for some reason, but Lucifer Morningstar, played by Tom Ellis from that TV show, is appearing in the crossover. Whether it be a cameo, a small role, or a large one, that is remain to be seen. But this means that yet another TV show, Lucifer, is a part of the Arrowverse's multiverse. There, I don't think, are a lot of evidence towards the fact that it is on one of the universes that are already established, so it's probably yet another universe as well. But this is insane. Lucifer is a DC property, but it's one of the more removed DC properties from like the DC universe or multiverse. There, I think, has been a single reference to anything DC related on Lucifer when he mentioned Batman and Robin this one time, but the way he mentioned it was like they were fictional characters on a TV show or a movie or obviously comic books, and not that they're real people or real superheroes or vigilantes in the world. So maybe on his universe, Batman and Robin are fictional characters, but it's crazy to me that Lucifer is actually appearing in the crossover. Not only that, but he did not actually appear in the original comic book, as he just didn't have a role. I don't think he was a character that existed yet. Obviously, the Devil did, probably, but Lucifer, the actual specific Lucifer Morningstar, I don't think did, but it's possible that he's going to take over the role of the Spectre in the universe, because Lucifer in the comics is like the most powerful being in the multiverse, at least compare like the second most, right after God himself, but this means that he's probably more powerful than the Anti-Monitor himself, so he probably could take down the Anti-Monitor by himself, or maybe he's at least going to put up a fight like Spectre did in the comics. Either way, I think this is insanely surprising. I did not expect this in the slightest. And obviously it goes without saying, but I am pretty damn excited for this, as I'm actually a fan of Lucifer, and I'm excited for him to appear in the crossover and meet all the other Arrowverse and even non-Arrowverse characters, or at least not yet Arrowverse characters in the Crisis. Oh, and just a short mention, a couple characters who have been confirmed to be appearing. I'm not going to mention all the characters that you saw in the photos in this video already, but characters like John Constantine, Zari, Kelly Olsen, Alex Danvers, Dreamer, and even Weather Witch are all going to be appearing in the crossover. The one I want to talk about right here is Weather Witch. In some set photos, and this is probably pretty spoilery, but there is a fight between the Flash and Supergirl fighting Weather Witch. This fight seems like I feel like this is going to be at the end of the crossover, where the Flash and Supergirl now probably on the same universe face off against some random villain. They just chose Weather Witch for the hell of it, but this is probably going to be the case. Actually, there's one more thing I have to mention. I literally just remember this off the top of my head right now, but there was the set scout or some sort of set photo from the crossover, but a photo of a location, a familiar one we've seen before. This location is the Hall of Justice that we saw in the Invasion crossover, and the Hall of Justice is officially returning in Crisis on Infinite Earths. This location I thought should have returned in every crossover after Invasion, being the base of operations for whatever these heroes all could combine and come together. But now, with a Crisis on Infinite Earths, it seems like they're going all out with everything. It seems like in the Hall of Justice, they're going to officially form the Justice League. Obviously, Green Arrow is probably not going to be a part of it, as he is probably going to die. But based off these set photos with Weather Witch, it seems like at least the Flash and Supergirl, which is pretty obvious, but also other heroes will be members of the Justice League on the one universe in the multiverse, or the one universe in the universe, because there won't be a multiverse, but they all operate out of the Hall of Justice, all of which is just so exciting. So anyway, with all these bits of news, Pariah's costume, Michael Keaton's Batman, Lucifer, Burt Ward, all these other characters, and the Hall of Justice, what are you most excited for? What are you most surprised for? And what do you think will be the coolest in the upcoming crossover? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you like this video, make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.